Okay, let's get started. First question, guys, I have tonight is, who taught you what love is? And I'm not talking about, when I speak of love, I'm not talking about sex. I'm talking about love.
I was taught about love from a friend. She was much older than me. We weren't it wasn't like a relationship or anything. It was just she dated one of my older gentleman friends who I used to buddy with. Mm-hmm. And I think I watched the way they interact with one another, and the way she molded him and was supportive of him, and how he learned, how he always talked about it, he always thought about him, and he just always, whatever decision he made in life, he always did something that was thought about them.
So he always included her.
Exactly.
Interesting.
And I took that and ran with it.
Phil?
Love takes on different dynamics over time anyway. The things that you think are love when you're young may be just infatuation or lust.
Right.
And as you mature, you appreciate different things and sort of grows on it.
Because they didn't know themselves, for one thing.
Right.
And our generation, our parents didn't get into it like these parents do here, because that wasn't an issue. They were more disciplinarians then, and that love thing and how to deal with the opposite sex just didn't play a part in our lives. So like Phil said, I had to learn along the way into different relationships I got involved in. I don't even know what is love sometimes.
Right. I don't think it's changed that much, because I'm younger, and my father didn't sit me down and teach me how to love a woman either. I mean, it was, again, like you said, a learned behavior, and you make your mistakes along the way.
Along the way,
but
right.
some way you learn how to pull it all back together. And again, you have to make a determination: is it infatuation, lust, or love? Mm-hmm. And when you get there, I guess I mean, it's one of those things that when you really love a person, I mean, it's almost like you said, you make decisions based on both people involved and not just yourself. Right. That's just my take on it. I mean,
well, we seem to think, when I say we, I would think my counterparts, male counterparts, seem to think that love is a feeling, and if you don't have that certain feeling, you're not in love. But love it's something people have been trying to define for the longest time, and I don't think nobody ever came to a true definition of what love really is.
So what is it?
Just a feeling I have for this woman, or what?
Then what does it mean when a guy says, even like a relationship is going bad, and he says, "I love her, but I'm not in love with her anymore"? What exactly does that mean?
Yeah, you hear that.
I hear that a lot, but I really, and I even used it not because it was easy. It was an easy term to use at the time when I was trying to get out my relationship. But even to this day, I really don't know what that means.
Can I take
Absolutely.
Sometimes in the beginning of a relationship, you have that euphoria, all right, of the relationship. Euphoria of being just euphoria. That's the best way to say it. And happen in life, all the things people may do, and they look for that same feel that they had in the beginning, and they don't get the same feel that they had in the beginning, they automatically assume that they're out of love. It's like, I really like her, but I don't have that euphoria that
okay. All right, well, with that question, with that, let me ask this question. As a boy, we were taught that a man shouldn't show emotions. So with that being said, have you passed that down to your children?
No.
Is it okay? Do you agree with that? Because I wasn't taught that as a boy. I mean, my father was a military man, and
me too.
And I saw him show emotions all the time. So I don't know that that's necessarily true, but is it? I'd throw it out there because
I think it's okay to teach emotions. I teach emotions to mine. I teach them how to learn how to use their passions too. So yeah, I think you have to have a drive, and it's an internal motivation that you have within yourself. And even though we're talking about love, like emotions such as love and caring for one another and things of that nature, I teach them a wide spectrum of emotions to be, to be aware of within themselves.
Right. What do you think? What's your take on that?
Well, I can't say love was really taught to us. We emulate, we're victims of our environment. And I grew up in a pretty rough neighborhood over in southeast Washington, man, and it was rough. So you had to have this macho kind of, by the time you walk out your door, you put on your street face. You know what I mean? Put on your street walk, you know. And if you show any kind of weakness in terms of how you behave and how you talk, you know, you might be considered a sissy or, you know, a chump and all that. So, you know, it wasn't really taught. And I learned at a later age it's okay to cry. You know, it's okay to show emotions. But I had got out of that world I grew up in before I learned that part of it.
Okay, so basically it's how you were raised.
Yeah, but I think a lot of times men don't show emotion because there's a fear, like you said, a fear of weakness. Also, I can remember when I was, when I was 18. Seems like yesterday. I remember my first love. I was like devastated when it was over. Right? I thought I was going to lose it.
Right.
And after that one instant, I decided, so this would never ever happen to me again. Right. So I took the attitude that keep a slightly tougher skin. So like playing poker. You know, you want to keep your cards close and play your hand.
So with that, do you have children?
Yes.
Boy?
Yes.
So do you tell him to hide his emotions as well?
My kids don't listen to me, man.
Okay.
I'm just a breadwinner. My kids don't listen to me.
Right.
But now I cry. I could watch a movie and it could have a scene in there and I'm not boo-hooing, you know, but
it'll make you, I got you.
I'll allow it to come out. I used to fight it, but I don't fight it anymore. I mean, if my lady friend is around, you know, I let it go. And we discussed this, and I think women like to see that in men. They like to see that, you know.
Okay.
I would agree with
But men always think I'm strong, and you know I got to be macho. I don't let nothing bother
But you
me.
can't play that hand all the time.
You know.
well, I think that actually is a sign of
Loved ones being, but for various emotional experiences, and that's okay. And these are real men. These ain't men that you can just run over and you know, call a whip.
Right.
You know.
All right, well, so this is a question for you since you're the only married man on the show. When you get married, are you supposed to give up your bachelor friends?
No.
I see you wearing a Greek fraternity pin on you. So do you still hang out with your single Greek brothers?
Well,
There's bachelors and still out there swinging and...
I hung out with my fraternity brothers. I'm a Sigma. I hung out with my fraternity brothers on May 5th at University of Maryland. We had 35th anniversary. I was with everybody.
Okay.
I still hang out. Married or single, I still hang out. You know.
And it doesn't cause any type of conflict, you know, because sometimes when you get married, the wives expect us to let that part of our life go.
That's a control issue, and you don't have to succumb to control issues.
Right.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. Well, that's a fair question. So, do you think when you get married, and this is for everybody, this is for the whole panel, do you think when you get married, does the romance have to stop? Or once the ceremony is over, why does the romance stop? That's the better question.
Well, with marriage though, it's dynamic, right? I mean, there's no set rules. I mean, just like life is dynamic. Marriage is dynamic. You know, it's constantly changing. You know, I mean, it might be a situation where you might be romantic and in love with everybody, happy this week. Next week, it's World War IV. You know, I mean,
it's true.
You know, it's dynamic. So yes and no.
Okay.
I think the romance stops because some people think that the fight may be over, and they get settled or they get comfortable and try to find something new within them. You know, keep it interesting.
But you know, it goes both ways. So sometimes women will take the attitude, so he's here, okay, and you can't always assume that he's going to be here, and vice versa. Sometimes men take the attitude, well, she's here, so they're not going anywhere, and you can't always take that.
Okay.